You think you need more time, more hacks, more motivation, but none of that matters if your mind is still undisciplined. Because the truth is brutal. You don't have a focus problem. You have a friction problem. Too many inputs, too many excuses, too many mental tabs open. And the result? Scattered energy, broken momentum, a quiet guilt that follows you through every unfinished task. The Stoics saw this centuries ago. They didn't call it productivity. They called it mastery, of attention, of energy, of self. Marcus Aurelius didn't wake up wondering what to do. He trained himself to do what mattered, whether he felt like it or not. That's the difference. Discipline isn't about pushing harder. It's about removing what weakens you. You're not lacking clarity. You're surrounded by distractions. You're not lacking potential. You're lacking structure. And that's what this blueprint is. 6 habits, forged from Stoic philosophy. Simple, quiet, ruthless. Not for hype, for focus. Not for the image, for the identity. Because if you want to live clear, if you want to move like someone who actually owns their time, then you don't need more noise. You need discipline. Habit 1. Win the first 30 minutes. The first half hour of your day isn't casual. It's a contract. And most people sign that contract with chaos, scrolling, rushing, reacting. The Stoic signs it with command. Before the world gets a vote, you declare who you are. No phone, no chatter, just intention. Sit, write, breathe, ask, what must I protect today? My time, my energy, or my attention? Because if you don't guard them first, someone else will take them by default. Habit 2. Single task like it's sacred. Focus is destroyed not by big distractions, but by constant switching. You think you're being productive, you're actually resetting your brain every few seconds. The Stoics didn't do 5 things halfway. They did one thing, fully. If it was speaking, they spoke clearly. If it was walking, they walked with presence. Because divided attention creates a divided mind. Want to double your clarity? Choose one task. Set a timer. Protect it like it's your breath. That's not a productivity trick. It's a mental discipline ritual. Habit 3. Say no, faster. Most people lose focus not because they say yes to too much, but because they say yes too slowly. They hesitate, they overthink, they explain. The Stoic simply says, this isn't aligned. No drama, no guilt, just space reclaimed. And every time you say no to what's wrong, you say yes to who you're becoming. Habit 4. Reflect before you react. Reaction kills focus. One angry message, one pointless argument, one ego trap. And there goes your clarity. The Stoic doesn't take the bait. He pauses. Before the reply, before the rant, before the spiral. And in that pause, he regains control. Not of others, of himself. Ask, is this worth my energy, or is this a test? 9 times out of 10, it's just noise, disguised as urgency. Habit 5. End the day with intention. Most people let the night leak. They scroll until they collapse. The Stoic closes his day, not with distraction, with reflection. 3 questions. What did I do well? Where did I drift? What will I do sharper tomorrow? Not to judge, to tighten the code. Because clarity isn't built in the morning alone, it's reinforced at night. Habit 6. Protect your peace like a fortress. If something costs you peace, it's expensive. If someone drains your focus, they're stealing from you. Set boundaries. Say less. Walk away. Not from weakness, from strength. Marcus Aurelius ruled millions, but still said, it is in your power to withdraw into yourself whenever you want. That's the final habit, the retreat that restores. Because if your mind isn't protected, your discipline won't last. These 6 habits aren't hacks. They're a blueprint, not for perfect days, for unshakable focus. When you live these 6 habits, not as a phase, but as a code, people notice. They feel the shift. You walk into a room and the noise doesn't pull you anymore. You hear criticism and it doesn't shake you. You sit down to work and your brain doesn't beg for a distraction, it dives in. Because now your mind is trained. You're no longer relying on motivation. You've built momentum. And momentum doesn't ask how you feel. It moves because it's what you do. That's the secret no one wants to hear. Focused people aren't lucky. They're not born different. They just have fewer decisions to make because they've already decided who they are. And when the world tries to interrupt them, they don't react. They protect their space, their rhythm, their peace. This is why Stoic discipline is so powerful. It doesn't make life easier. It makes you unbreakable. You stop chasing calm. You become it. You stop hoping for clarity. You enforce it. You stop negotiating with chaos. You organize it. Because real power isn't loud. It's still. It's structured. It's earned. One choice at a time. This isn't just about doing more. It's about becoming more. Because the man who owns his focus owns his time. And the one who owns his time owns his life. Think about it. How many days have you lost not because you were lazy, but because your energy was scattered? Because you gave your attention to the wrong inputs, your emotions to the wrong people, your time to the wrong goals. And every time you did, you felt it. That quiet sting of regret. Not because you didn't work hard, but because deep down, you knew you weren't in command. Now imagine this. You start your day without checking your phone. You sit down and work without checking the clock. You finish without needing applause because you know you showed up fully. That's not a productive day. That's a disciplined life, and it builds something rare, self-respect. Not because you've achieved everything yet, but because you've stopped betraying your own standard. People notice, but more importantly, you notice. You sleep better. You speak clearer. You walk with the quiet confidence of someone who keeps their promises, especially to themselves. That's what the Stoics lived for, not to impress, but to embody. Discipline as identity, focus as foundation. Now you see it. Discipline isn't a mood, it's not a trend, it's a weapon. And the man who sharpens it daily becomes unshakable. Not because his life is easy, but because his foundation is heavy. He knows what to say no to. He knows when to say nothing. He knows what matters, and what's just noise dressed as urgency. And that's the blueprint. Not to look productive, to be dangerous, in the calmest, most focused way possible. You don't need a new routine. You need to protect the one you already know you should be living. You don't need another video. You need to move. Because the longer you wait, the heavier the regret. Not because you failed, but because deep down, you knew better. So ask yourself, what part of your day are you still letting chaos control, that you know discipline could own if you stop